here I am again. I just watched the trials of Gabriel Fernandez, and if you haven't watched it and you're wanting to watch it or planning on watching it, stop watching me right now, because I'm going to give some spoilers here. You've been warned, okay? I'm always one, even though it's sad and it's heartbreaking, it's really tough to watch and hear and read about children being abused. But in my mind, I do it because their stories deserve to be heard. That's my opinion. My mother is really against it because she's like, we've got enough sadness, and, we shouldn't be making ourselves sad. And I get that. But just to me, the urge to know, the urge to make sure their stories get told, the truth gets told, and to know it myself is stronger. It's stronger. They should be told. This story, boy, one of the worst. One of the absolute worst. Poor Gabriel. He was an 8-year-old sweet little boy, who, when he was first born, even was abandoned. His mother didn't want anything to do with him, so she left him at the hospital after giving birth to him, and he went to live with his uncle, who happened to be gay and had a partner, and they loved that baby. They took good care of that baby. Nobody else wanted him. They took him. They were good to that baby. Then suddenly, because the baby was saying, "I love you," to these two gay men who were raising him, the grandfather had a problem with it. He's going to be gay because he's being raised by gay guys. Just fucking ridiculous. So the grandmother and the grandfather take him then. For I don't know how long they had him. Somehow, I don't know how, I really don't know how, but eventually his mother gets him again. She had him for, I don't know if it was about 2 years. Well, while she had him, she was in a relationship with this security guard who was over 6 feet tall, humongous man, a very manly man, apparently, according to the show. And I mean, this little 8-year-old boy was a fly compared to this man, okay? Pretty much. But it didn't stop him from beating him. They tortured him. They tortured him to death. That's what they did. For at least 8 months of his life, he was being tortured, and it led to his death. When they finally got him in the hospital, they saw there wasn't 1 inch of his body that wasn't hurt. He had torn skin, like lesions. He had burns all over him, all over his neck. He had, his head was bashed in and it felt like Rice Krispies. That's what they said. He had ligature marks. They were tying him up. They were gagging him. He had kitty litter in his stomach. They were feeding him kitty litter. Cat shit. He didn't have any food in his body. No fat in his fat storage stores. At one point, because there was an older brother and an older sister, they would try to, because he'd be locked in this little cabinet, tiny little cabinet, with him being tied up, and sometimes socks in his mouth, bandanas over his face. They would try to sneak him food in between the little crack. Yeah. And the real deal is that they never hid it from anybody. Social workers went to the house. Sheriffs went to the house. The kid went to his teacher and asked her, is it normal for your mom to hit you with the belt, the metal part of a belt? Is it normal for your mom to hit you until you bleed? He asked his teacher that. Everyone who tried to help this kid, they regret not doing more, because the calls they made did nothing but make it worse. And he literally told his teacher that. He lied. One day he came into school with his face all swollen. The white of his eye was completely red. And the teacher asked what happened. At first he lied and said he was playing and fell. And then she pushed him further. And he told her what happened, that his mother shot him in the face with a BB gun. And when the teacher asked, why did you lie at first? He said, because every time that lady comes, I get hurt worse. When he went to the hospital, they did find a BB gun lodged into his face and I think his groin. I mean, all of his fingers were swollen, each one damaged. They found a club and a bat with his blood all over it. They were beating him with a club and a bat and a belt and their fists, and they were starving him and burning him. He'd come to have patches of hair missing with scabs and blood underneath, cigarette burns everywhere. Yeah. And 4 social workers would close the case. Listen to the mother. They even did, get this. The mother told them, he's a liar. The kid's a liar. He's beat up because some neighborhood kid beat him up. So a sheriff literally put this little 8-year-old abused, tortured boy into the back of his squad car and told him, if you keep lying, you're going to be the one who ends up in jail. I'm not kidding you. I'm not fucking kidding you. They threatened that little poor boy. I have no words. I fucking have no words. At one point, the mother, her name is Pearl, brought her son Gabriel, who she was torturing and killing, with his brothers and sister, into DSF to, like, get, benefits. And there was a security guard there. And when they walked in, the security guard noticed his bruises and stuff and thought, what the hell's going on here? And then when Gabriel walked past him, he pulled his sleeve down and showed him the ligature marks to show him they had been tying him up. He was trying to get help everywhere he could. Everywhere he could. And they all failed him. They all fucking failed him. That security guard told one of the workers, like, hey, that kid's being abused. And they said, yeah, that's my department. And he said, well, good. Do something about it. Make a call. So he gets a call back from her and she says, oh, my supervisor doesn't want me spending overtime, so I can't report it. But she did feel bad enough that she gave him the info so that he could do it. We don't want to spend overtime. So, no, we're not making a phone call. But you can. No, I mean, he even says it was a HIPAA violation for her to give me that info. But I took it anyways, and he did try calling, just like the teacher did. You know, I don't know how many people tried calling to get this boy help, but nobody did anything. They called, but they didn't do anything. Like, it just to me, and of course, I can't say 100% what I would have done in any of their shoes, but if I can say what I believe I would have done, what I believe I would have done is I would have never allowed that child to go back home. No fucking way. No fucking way. If he was as bad as they're saying he was, I don't know what I would do, but I would do whatever I could to try to make sure he wasn't going to go back there. I mean, okay. The boyfriend, big old boyfriend, he went through trial and got the death penalty. The mother, because they tried him separately, just pled guilty and accepted life in prison with no chance of parole. They did charge the 4 social workers, but the cases were thrown out, so nothing happened there. And it was an unprecedented thing for them to do that, to even do that. But really, I mean, everybody who failed him should have had some, like the real people who, like those sheriffs and shit, they should have had some kind of punishment. In my mind, they failed that kid. If they had done their job right, he'd still be alive today. If they did their job right, he would have been put in the hands of somebody who actually loved him. This mother and boyfriend, they told the police, literally when he was dying, and they finally called 911, they literally told the EMS workers, he's gay. The kid is gay. Like it had anything to do with anything, first of all. And second of all, how do you even know that? Do what, because he's sweet and kind, because he was raised by a couple of gay guys for the first couple of years of his life? We don't even know. He's 8 years old. Oh, man. I hope and I believe, I'm sure of it, that those 2 monsters who did monstrous things to that sweet, innocent little child who loved his mother. A week or 2 before he died, he made a Mother's Day thing for his mother, and the teacher took his pictures holding up the letters MOM. You can see him all bruised up and just terrible in those pictures. And she said after he died, when she went back into the classroom, that's what was on his desk. One of the coupons he made out to his mother was, "I'll be good." Anyway, I hope and believe that those 2 monsters are being punished by other inmates, by the COs. I really hope they are. I believe they are. I've never experienced or witnessed it myself, but I've heard a lot of stories from different people that people like that who hurt a child like that, who get into custody, end up getting, punishment for it by their peers. They end up getting beat up and not fed and, shit like that. And I truly hope that's happening here, because these fucking scumbags. I can't even, that's not even good enough for them. Scumbag is not even good enough for them, in my mind. You know, I mean, just, everybody has some hard things in life, right? We all think we have it hard. That poor little baby. Oh, that poor little baby. I just, you know, it just makes me want to hold him and just love him. That just makes me want to give him love. I don't know if anyone else feels like that with these stories, but that's what it makes me want to do. Like, oh man, I just, rough one. Good luck sleeping after that one. It's on Netflix.